What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy, back with another video taking a look at Apple stock, the price action for today, and what the future for Apple could look like. So real quick, if you haven't yet and you enjoyed these videos, please drop a like, drop a comment down below on whether you're an Apple or what you think the future for Apple could look like. And if you could subscribe to the channel, it greatly helps me out as I'm trying to grow this channel. So wasting no time, getting right into it, let me take a look at the one-day chart for Apple. And what we see is Apple gapped up, nicely filled the gap downward, but then throughout the course of the day was never really able to recover back to that 117 point. So we opened pretty high at 117.72, gapped up, and then kind of continued our trend downward. Now, let's take a look at, every time after this point when it tried to hit the VWAP, there was a lot of selling pressure. So hit the VWAP, selling pressure, try to go over it, came right back down, hit it, and then that time went even down further, broke through it, and then we saw a sudden drop, and then towards the end, we broke through it again, only to drop and then closing kind of strong, but I was kind of curious to see if we had a couple more minutes whether it would drop back down again as it had done the past couple of times. Now, one thing to really see is it got rejected. So we talked about, in yesterday's videos, that the 118s had sort of been a resistance point, right, for Apple in the past couple of let me take a look at the year-to-date chart. Yeah, so this 118 point, we kind of zoomed in the high 118s. It kind of goes back to September, and it has served as a resistance point right there, here, and then even, back here, but we broke through that, so not really a resistance point anymore, but a couple times back, tracing us back as early September. So that was a resistance point, but if we take a look at today's chart, another thing that I want to point out is, we tried breaking 117s a couple of times, but we weren't able to do that. So again, here we tried to break through 117. Well, first when we came down and went right back up, we couldn't break 117s, could not break it here, didn't even make it to 117 here, and then got rejected here, and then in the end we made a push up, but I don't know if we ran out of time or just didn't have enough momentum to break through the 117. So again, talking about the support levels now, if we take a look, kind of zoom out, one thing that we've talked about is there is a strong support at 113. We've talked about this over and over again. Feel free to watch my previous videos, and we talked about that there as well. But so what now we have is, we've got a strong support, or what I think is a strong support. Now it could drop below that, right? There's no sort of, nothing really keeping it from dropping, because we have this higher high, higher low now, but it could drop below that. But I think in the up end, we're going to have some trouble breaking through the 117s, and then eventually, if we were able to break through that resistance point, then today's high of day, which was when we opened at 117, since we weren't able to trace back to it, I think that's our next resistance point in the short term. And then we have the struggles of the 118s that we talked about kind of in yesterday's video. So I personally think that we are going to trade, unless there's some crazy news with vaccine, stimulus, all that stuff, we are going to trade sort of sideways. The Apple iPhone, according to some rumors, is supposed to be announced not next week, but the week after, which means we are supposed to be getting some sort of news on the release date itself, confirmation from Apple itself, sometime next week, Tuesday or Wednesday. So that day should be really great for Apple as the hype around the new iPhone, the new 5G iPhone kind of comes through. But until then, I think, I would not be surprised personally if, with the stimulus talks being sort of stalled right now, if we were to see a little bit of a dip in the general market, not just Apple, but in the general market, as we see a little bit of uncertainty rising, the VIX rising because of, the uncertainty of the future. And then, based off of that, if there are people that sort of take some profits off the table, causing the stock prices to drop. But again, I want to reiterate that I don't think we're going to drop too much. we can. I just want to say we can. I'm just sharing my opinion that I don't think we will, especially going into an iPhone launch event. We are making these higher highs, higher lows. We did continue that pattern today. So I think even if it were to drop, it wouldn't be crazy low, because we are making higher lows every single day. And I do think that we have a strong support here at 113. I believe it was 113.66 that we saw the other day. Now, taking a look at the indicators, let's just kind of see if there's something to look at. So, we've got some, again, the AEMA is 113.88, kind of reiterating, I think here it's 113.66 that we drew a couple days ago, but reiterating that we do have a lot of support there. And then under that, we've got the 21 EMA at 114, or excuse me, above that at 114. And then the 34 EMA is also 113. So again, 113s is great support, should serve as great support. And then the 117s because of today, the high 117s because that was the high of today, and then the 118s that we talked about in yesterday's video, or maybe the day before, going back to early September, could be resistance points there. So, hopefully we trade in that, but things to look out for kind of on top of Apple are stimulus. So again, some stalling happening there. We don't know what's going to happen. When that goes through, expect somewhat of a pop, excitement, liquidity added to the market. But until then, as they stall, people might start to get a little bit uncertain and could take some profits off the table. So we hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, drop a like, comment down below if you enjoy these videos, or if you are in Apple, or what you think the future for Apple could look like, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. That's all we had for you today. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.